I'm going to go off camera. I'm just going to go off camera so you don't have me.
So, welcome, ladies, to Party Without the Pain. Party Without the Pain. It would help if I could speak properly. The True Food Nutrition Guide to Surviving the Festive Season, which is upon us. 1 minute it was Halloween, and then the next it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. And you're headfirst into the season of, oh, go on, then I'll just have one more. But tonight we want to help you step into Christmas feeling steady without wondering, do they know it's Christmas when you look at your waistband? We'll share straightforward ways to enjoy the festivities without repeating the, oh God, why did I do that moments of last Christmas. This year really will be a merry little Christmas if you take the advice of us three wise women. Enough of the puns. I think we should move on, Amanda, please.
Yeah. So the boring bit there.
Yeah, we've got to get this out of the way to just say this is not, it shouldn't replace medical advice. If you are wanting to make wholesale changes to your nutrition and your lifestyle, please talk to your GP. We can't claim to diagnose anything or treat or cure any health conditions, but we do know from experience and research, both medical research and clinical experience, that what we're suggesting tonight will make a difference to your Christmas and beyond. Next slide, please, Amanda. So let's talk about your honestly holiday health agenda. I should stop. So we're going to look at, first of all, about the things that can go wrong at Christmas when you eat, drink, and are very merry. Amanda's going to talk a little bit through a little bit about why the party does get quite so painful. We will then give you 4 really simple, straightforward tips to eat, drink, and be merrier this festive season without the bloating, the reflux, that sense of overwhelm, and your jeans not fitting in January. And we'll also there'll be some time for questions at the end. But before we go any further, when we talk about Christmas and food and drink and partying, you can either come on off mute or type in the chat what you think of at this time of year. What are your feelings? What are your thoughts about Christmas and eating, drinking, and being merry? Is anybody going to talk, or are we looking in the chat? Personally, I'm quite looking forward to it.
I'm not sure if you can hear me.
Can
Can you hear me or no?
We can, Jill, yes.
It's Jill, but you can't see me.
Nope.
No, I'm not very techie, but I'm just going to keep talking then. Buffet food you think about, don't you, at parties and things like that?
Yes, definitely buffet food. And it's usually beige.
Yes.
And often endless.
Yes.
Picky bits.
Yeah. Fiona says too many calories and calorie dense food. Yes, which kind of links with Jill's point about buffets. Any more? Oh, mince pies, says Emma. Oh,
yeah, definitely.
Completely my downfall. I love mince pies. I can spend quite some time discussing at length who does the best mince pies. But anyway, we'll move on. Well, hopefully by the end of the session, you will have some strategies for managing the beige buffet, for managing your mince pie intake, and also just to work round a little bit the nutrient dense foods that don't help your waistline. Next slide, Amanda, please.
So, eat, drink, and be merry. I'm sure you'll all recognise this familiar Christmas motto that we've all grown up hearing. Eat, drink, and be merry. But let's now take a deeper dive into the havoc that this can wreak with your health. So, do you guys find yourself suffering with one or all of these common festive symptoms? So, acid reflux and heartburn, anybody? How often do you reach for the Gaviscon to put out that festive fire? Indigestion. Are ready for dessert, anyone? Bloating and flatulence. Hands up who had that extra helping of sprouts. And how often do you have to loosen your trousers over the festive period, or become windier than a set of bagpipes on a Scottish parade? And probably the most common festive symptom is, yes, you guessed it, weight gain. Endless Christmas parties bursting at the seams with sausage rolls, mince pies that we've just mentioned, twiglets, reverberating with sounds of, oh, go on then, it's Christmas, continuously grazing on those boxes of celebrations that somehow get opened on December the 1st, and not to mention the never-ending glasses of fizz to wash it all down with. Does this sound familiar to everyone? Definitely, I think, yeah.
Yes, it does.
It does. Okay, next slide, please. Thank you. So, the curse of Christmas chaos. Even if you absolutely love everything about Christmas, guilty, it does come with a whole host of extra work. And if you're not careful, you'll be left feeling depleted, stressed, and burnt out, even before the big man has a chance to climb down your chimney. So from the shopping to the wrapping, the peeling to the cooking, from the is it too late to order a turkey to the realization that you've missed the Christmas card postal deadline, the have I really got it in me to go to yet another Christmas get together, and oh no, I forgot to buy Auntie Joan a gift. The curse of Christmas chaos is real. So it's ever likely that our sleep's suffering. Are you wrapping presents till midnight, making lists in your head at 3 a.m.? That extra glass of fizz having you running to the loo every couple of hours. Next slide, please, Amanda. And, oh no, sorry, I think we were on the right one then.
Yeah, you missed a bit. You missed the mindless eating bit.
I missed a bit, I did. Oh yes, the mindless eating, we can't forget that. So party food platters full to the brim of picky bits, canopies, nibbles, the endless tubs of chocolates located at every turn and are thrust upon us every time we enter every single home over Christmas, and it's all washed down with a few glasses of Prosecco, and yet strangely, you're still hungry when you get home. How many of us ask ourselves this question? So now over to the lovely Amanda, who's going to explain why the party can get painful. Over to you, Amanda.
Thank you. And yeah, why indeed does the party get painful? And, you know, while our minds might be full of celebration, maybe our tummies are full of celebrations as well. And so that might give our bodies other ideas about celebrating. So let's have a quick look. Can you see a sort of a green blob in the middle of your screen? Is it getting in everybody's way? I don't know whether you can see it on your screens. It's on mine.
No,
as long
we
as it's
can't.
not disturbing you guys. No, that's fine. Okay. So festive food and drink, you know, it's that time of year, indulgences everywhere. And so what foods have the biggest impact on our digestive health? Well, we've got there the triumvirate of reflux, the main protagonists, the fatty, the fried, and the creamy. And these are the perfect storm for acid reflux. And that's because they have this knack of releasing and relaxing this little valve here at the top of our stomachs. It's a one-way valve, and it should actually prevent our stomach contents regurgitating into our esophagus, causing that heartburn. And these three kinds of foods, the fatty, the fried, and the creamy, are really, really good at relaxing. I mean, I don't know about you, but I feel like relaxing when I've had fatty, fried, and creamy foods. But yeah, they have the same effect on our little valve here. Now, sugar and desserts. You know, there's a lot of sugary foods around at this time of year, lots of delicious desserts. My mum makes a cracking chocolate roulade, and you know, how can you resist? How can I say no? Sugar is fermented by the gut, and eating too much, so eating that extra slice of chocolate roulade or that extra mince pie, Nicola, means that it's more likely that the gut will produce gases such as hydrogen and carbon dioxide. And in addition to this, of course, all of these sugary foods are guaranteed to lead to this cycle of crashing and craving as blood sugar struggles to balance, and fatigue and more poor food choices follow. And then we've got alcohol fueling that fire. Alcohol is a bit of an irritant to the stomach lining. It interferes with proper digestion, and it does relax that little sort of sphincter valve there. And then we've got the carbonated drinks, not just obviously the colas and those kinds of things, but those mixers that you put in your in your drinks, your tonics, bitter lemons, ginger ale, whatever they are that are carbonated. The carbon dioxide in these actually expands as it warms to body temperature, causing pressure and this distension and bloating that you're feeling. And then this pressure can actually exacerbate acid reflux. And then they've got the extra sugar in them, which is going to cause our crash and crave reflux again. And then you've got to remember that some of these are caffeinated. Some of these carbonated sodas are caffeinated. And caffeine also has the knack of relaxing this little sphincter muscle here, adding to the risk of reflux. And then, of course, we've got our overflowing plates. Who puts too much on their plate at Christmas? We're all a bit guilty of that. The eyes are definitely bigger than our bellies at this time of year. And overeating slows digestion, so the body struggles to process what's in the stomach. So then the stomach becomes distended, and then you've got your excess gas accumulating, the flatulence and things after those extra sprouts that Nikki was talking about. So let me just move it along. So then we've got our festive habits. Oh no, I've gone the wrong way. Sorry. Oh no, hang on. Yes, there we go. Sorry. Festive habits. So how we all eat over the festive season can also have an impact on our waistlines. So like Nikki was saying, mindless eating, being at the buffet, sort of picking our way along the buffet table, not really paying much attention, chatting to all of our friends and neighbours at the party. That all or nothing mindset. It's actually, I've heard it called what did I hear it called today? The what the hell mindset. It's December. What the hell? I'll start again in January. I'll start being healthy in January. And also we've got fewer inhibitions around food during the festive season. A couple of drinks contributes to that. An extra glass of fizz and sausage roll is going to make its way onto your plate. So there's those festive habits that we also have to be aware of at this time of year. And then we've got sleep and stress. We tend to think only about what we eat as causing reflux and digestive problems and weight gain, but sleep and stress also plays into this. And the pressure at Christmas is on to be everywhere, do everything, eat everything, spend money we don't have, all with an enormous smile on our faces, and kind words on our lips. But come Christmas Day, how many of us actually want to commit an unspeakable act of violence on the Christmas pudding because we're so burnt out? A recent survey suggested that 85% of people struggle with their sleep throughout the festive period, and another 50% of those surveyed said that they felt more stressed. And that strikes me as quite sort of a shame, because it is a time when we're supposed to be enjoying the company of others. The reasons that they gave included overindulgence on festive foods, beverages, late nights, staying over with friends or relatives, the financial worry of Christmas, pressure of not getting that picture perfect Christmas, and the worry of saying no to invitations, of being sort of regarded as not being very festive. And noisy Christmas parties in the neighbourhood was one of the reasons they gave as not being able to sleep properly. And not getting enough sleep is stressful enough without the added pressure of Christmas, and it's inevitably going to affect your mood and your enjoyment of the festive season. But not getting enough sleep is going to impact your health in other ways, and you'll see on that slide there some of the other things that poor sleep and stress will amount to. Our tired brains go in search of energy, and our dollop of festive stress takes its toll. We're more likely to reach for sugary comfort foods, and so the crashing and craving begins. And then we add caffeine to that mix to stay awake, and then ouch, what have we got? We've got a really, really nasty dose of heartburn. Stress also alters how our digestive system works, slowing it down, exacerbating reflux, IBS symptoms, nausea and bloating. We become more vulnerable to coughs and sneezes that spread those Christmas diseases when we're all indoors and sharing space with more people than we would normally. So most of us put the blame on overindulgence at Christmas, but and on our waistline woes, but sleep and stress has an enormous impact too. So moving swiftly along. Here are our 4 top tips to eat, drink, and be merry this festive season.
So what can we do to combat the multitude of these all too familiar but unwanted effects during the Christmas period? We're going to share with you some of our top tried and tested hints, tips, and tricks that will help you to party smarter this Christmas. So when you're eating, it's really important to eat slowly and mindfully. So savor your food. So try not to kind of talk too much and concentrate on what's going around, but actually think about the food that you're eating, even those party snacks. So if you're at a party, put the food that you want from the buffet onto a plate instead of grazing straight from the buffet. Because like Amanda mentioned, you can quite easily mindlessly, as you're chatting, you know, tuck away 3 or 4 or 5 sausage rolls before you've even realised. So if you put it on a plate and then walk away, you've got exactly what you're going to eat on your plate, and you don't have to think about, you know, eating too many of those sausage rolls. If you're at home watching Christmas TV, pop your snacks into a bowl or on a plate. So the same kind of system, rather than eating straight from the packet. If you're watching a film, you're going to just carry on. Those Quality Street or those crisps or whatever are you're just gonna keep picking at them. Whereas if you just put a small amount on a plate and go and sit down in the other room, the effort of having to get up and go and restock that plate is much harder than just reaching into the bag for more. So that works really well too. And when you're eating, when you're really enjoying a meal, just put your knife and fork down between mouthfuls and chew your food properly. Chew it about 20 times. And using these tips, you're less likely to overeat and your digestion will improve. So you have less of a chance of acid reflux, indigestion, tummy ache, and so on and so forth. Another good tip is stop before you're stuffed, basically. So just before you feel yourself going into that, oh, I feel really full, put your knife and fork down and take a moment and just think, how full are you? If you feel as though you're around 80% full, now is the time to stop, because it takes around 10 to 20 minutes for the hunger hormone to register your fullness. And so 80% full now equals 100% full in about 15 minutes. And you'll feel much more comfortable and less likely to have that postprandial bloat. Another really good tip is eat before you go. So you've got a Christmas event, you're going out, you're going to be eating a party or a meal or whatever. And this works wonders because having a balanced meal containing healthy carbs, proteins, fats, and fiber before you go out will help you to combat the party temptations. So those tempting deep fried and sugary foods that are high in unhealthy fats and sugar are much more likely to exacerbate acid reflux and an uncomfortable night. So eat before you go is a really good tip. And lastly, but definitely not the least of our festive troubles is, yes, you've guessed it, alcohol. So we recommend trying to alternate your alcohol with a glass of water or sparkling water or another alcohol-free drink in between those alcoholic drinks. Alcohol relaxes the little ring of muscle at the top of the stomach that Amanda was talking about earlier, and increases the risk of acid reflux. So reducing the amount that you drink over the course of the evening will not only help you to avoid a horrible hangover, but also the risk of runny for breakfast. Okay, so we've got festive tip number 4.
Number 2.
Oh, no, we haven't. I'm jumping ahead then.
Yeah, it's me now, Nick.
Yeah, there you go. Over to Nicola.
So it's a professional setup, this one, isn't it? So festive tip number 2 is all really about perspective and just not allowing yourself to be overwhelmed at the thought of December. Because to go back to Amanda's what the hell theory that she talked about before, just, I mean, how many Christmas things do you actually have on? How many parties, how many meals, how many nights out do you actually have? I mean, you may be like Nikki here, who is a social butterfly and has something on nearly every night during December, or you could be a little bit bar humbug like me that's got about 2 things on. Because rather than just going, oh, what the hell, it's December, I'm going to just eat what I like, drink what I like until January, and then I'll deal with it. actually just thinking, okay, I've got however many nights out, I'm going to work with that rather than letting it dominate. And so our first within the choosing wisely, not perfectly tip is focusing on balance and not restricting yourself. So like Nikki was saying, rather than if you know you're going to a party and there's going to be a buffet, rather than restricting yourself during the day and thinking, right, well, I'm not going to go because I'm going to eat all the things tonight. I'm going to save my calories, if you like, and then it doesn't matter tonight. Actually, if you operate in that way of thinking, you'll eat so much more by the time you get to the buffet because you'll be absolutely starving, and you'll eat way more than you might have done otherwise. So as Nikki said, having something to eat that's balanced, protein for definite, some healthy fat, some healthy carbohydrates, some complex carbohydrates, that will help you balance your meals rather than feeling like you have to restrict them. And linked with that, one really easy way to avoid the overindulgence is to fill up with fiber first. We talked right at the beginning, well, Amanda did, about the pitfalls of Christmas. And fiber is one of the foods that really helps to get round so many of them. Making sure, however, that you are drinking plenty of water as well. So lots of fruit, lots of vegetables, well, lots of plants really, chickpeas, beans, herbs, spices. They do a great job of filling you up so you don't have that desire to just start at one end of the buffet table and work your way down it. But it also, fiber is really protective and looks after your digestive system. So on those days when you are not partying, making a real effort to eat lots and lots of fiber. You might have seen, and it's on our website, the 30 plant challenge. And yes, there's lots of things going on right now, but actually making a real concerted effort and trying to get your 30 plants a week in might just help you to choose wisely, not perfectly. Now, if you know me well, you will know I have a huge sweet tooth. And if I was told I could not have dessert, that would be all I would want, because that's how our brains work. If we're told not to have something, it's the thing that we absolutely want. So don't step away from them. If you're focusing on balance, if you're focusing on fun, because it is the festive season, having a little bit of what you fancy is really not going to do you any damage. As Nikki said, thinking about, well, how full am I? Can I eat an entire bowl of profiteroles? Or would I just be all right with 2 or 3 or 4? Depends. That's more about me, though. And just going in with a mindset of, I'm just going to enjoy this. I'm not going to restrict myself. I'm going to have a little bit and I'm going to enjoy it. Absolutely is the way forward. And I sort of alluded to this already, but actually thinking, well, actually I ate loads yesterday, so I'm really not going to eat anything today. Or I had a massive, great big lunch, so I'm not going to have my tea tonight, or some configuration of that. Actually, in terms of your blood sugar and your energy and your mood, by missing meals out completely, that's not going to help. It may not help with your sleep. It certainly won't help you manage your energy, which we need lots of at this particular time. So on those days when you are not partying, choosing wisely so that you can have the fun later on. Next slide, please.
Oh, I think this one's me. Okay, so festive tip number 3, eat, drink, be merry, and sleep. Now, sleep this time of year is really your perfect partner to party with. You can't party without a good night's sleep. So yeah, making sure you're getting enough sleep at this time of year is essential. Now, we've already talked about, when you're tired, you're more likely to experience food cravings, eat mindlessly, be more stressed, irritable, and lack of sleep will also exacerbate bloating and reflux. Our bodies thrive on routine, and they really don't appreciate the festive season in the same way that we do. The goal during the festive season isn't perfect sleep. because that would just be daft to imagine that you're going to sleep perfectly all through the month of December. It's about making a few adjustments that will help your body to recover when you've had a big night out, for example. Now, anybody that knows True Food Nutrition knows that we are huge fans of meal planning. But the same goes for sleep planning as well. We all love our sleep. And so, especially as back-to-back late nights are a recipe for reflux, bloating, and less than ideal food choices. So yeah, we're all for a bit of sleep planning. If you know you're going to have a late night, plan the evening before to be one where you can get some decent sleep. Eat a little earlier, avoid caffeine after lunchtime, for example. A bath before bed, switch off your phone an hour before bed, and make that night before count so you know that you're going to get a really good night's sleep. And the night after, if you've not got two things, not like Nikki got two things in your diary in the same week. I don't honestly know how she does that. I really don't. I need about a week to recover from one late night.
Lots of sleep. No, actually, as a side note, I do make sure that I try not to book things either side so that I can get my sleep in.
There you go. That's proof that it actually works. So yeah, it's tough to allow yourself enough time to wind down when you get home from a late night. The temptation is to just jump straight into bed, and what usually happens then is that you lay down and you start to feel that sort of horrible burning sort of feeling starting. But just 10 minutes to prepare yourself properly for bed makes a huge difference to the quality of your sleep. Now, I don't know about any of you, but the one thing I do make sure I do before I go out, if I know I'm going to have a late night, is I make sure that my coziest, nicest PJs are washed and ironed and on my bed, ready for me to jump into when I get home. It just makes a night's sleep just much more sort of comfortable and cozy. Having to root around for a pair of PJs is a proper sleep killer. So make sure you've got your PJs laid out. It sounds daft, but it actually does work. Make yourself a warm drink, for example. Dim the lights. Think about what normally signals to sleep for you, and incorporate it into your mini wind down. Another good tip is to have a glass of water next to your bed. So if you do wake up thirsty in the night, so if you've had a couple of drinks, you do wake up thirsty in the night, you won't have to get up to get a drink. So have that glass of water by the side of your bed. Now, this one at the end, don't stay in bed the morning after. This one's quite controversial. And I won't tell you what Nicola's reaction to that was when I actually mentioned that I was going to talk about this. She said, "Are you actually serious?"
Yeah, it's true.
Now, I know, I do appreciate it's not the top of everyone's to-do list after a night out to get out of bed the morning after, bright and early. But getting outside into daylight in the morning helps to reset your internal body clock. It tells your body that the day has started, signals to the digestive system that it's business as usual, and it gets everything going. And when you come in, eat breakfast. Don't miss out on breakfast. Eat a protein and fiber-rich brekkie. And again, that meal in that morning signals to your body's internal clock that the day is starting, and it sets its rhythm in motion for the rest of the day. As I say, quite controversial, but yeah, it's it really does work.
To be fair, Amanda, yes, I know I did go, what? But I was out with a friend on Saturday and may have just had one or two Prosecco's, and I did exactly that on Sunday morning, and it's the most productive day I've had in, I don't remember when. It was Brian wondered what on earth was the matter with me. He thought I was still drunk. So it does really work to get up and just signal to your body, right, come on, let's crack on.
Perfect. I'm glad to hear that, because I was a bit nervous about that one. Okay, so festive tip 4.
Okay, festive tip number 4. So stress less and enjoy more. So we need to remember that the Christmas pudding that we mentioned, that we were going to commit unspeakable violence. Well, with some quality sleep and these stress busting tips, we hope you'll be enjoying the pudding rather than destroying it. So basically, take it easy on yourself by being mindful of what we call your stress bucket. So we want to aim to keep our stress bucket as low as we possibly can over the Christmas period. So pick what matters the most and accept only the invitations that matter. So the ones that bring you joy, and politely and firmly decline the ones that you feel like an obligation. Saying no does take practice, especially at this time of year. But if you're stressing about an occasion that you wish you'd said no to, you'll be feeling the negative effects on your energy and digestion. So protect your peace. This is about self-preservation and how you keep your week on track. 10 minutes of peace every day for coffee, for example, or 10 minutes of fresh air, or some deep relaxing breaths. An early night that Amanda's just mentioned will allow you to switch on the rest and digest system. Choose easy wins. So if you're cooking up a storm this Christmas, choose as much pre-chopped, pre-made, pre-prepped anything as you need that's going to make your life easier. So plate up a shop dessert and say, yes, of course I made it. Say, if someone says they want to come around and bring something, say, yes, please, that would be amazing, instead of, oh, no, it's fine, just come and enjoy yourself. Get as much help as you possibly can. Delegation is definitely the key. And if shopping for a new party outfit is a shop too far, believe us that no one will remember that you wore that outfit to the Christmas party last year. So try and let go of perfection. Perfect idyllic Christmas scenes on TV is not real life. So the pursuit of perfection is exhausting. And who actually needs a handmade reindeer cocktail stick and their mulled wine? Well, I do have to kind of like differ on this one, because I do think we have got a lovely recipe on our website for a mocktail with a reindeer's head in, which is delicious, but only if you have the time and the inclination. Don't push yourself too far to actually make it. You don't need all of those bells and whistles, is what we're trying to say. So focus on the enjoyable, focus on the realistic, and focus on 3 deep breaths before you sit down for Christmas lunch. And there you go, you did it. You've got that, and it's amazing. And now it's time to sit back, relax, and switch on your rest and digest, and enjoy that Christmas lunch, knowing that you'll be leaving the Rennie in the cupboard this year.
So there we go. We've got your 4 tips for being able to party without the pain. Hopefully what you've got from this is the word balance. Christmas can be great fun, but you do have to pace yourself. You do have to think about what you're prepared to go with and what you can let go of and not worry about. You do have to think about nourishing yourself without punishing yourself. So nourishing yourself with what you eat when you're not partying, what you're drinking when you're not partying, and with your sleep when you're not partying, so that you can stress less and enjoy it much more. So that's our bit for the moment, but does anybody have any questions? I know we had some emailed in from people that weren't able to join us, but those of you who were, do you have any questions about Christmas, about what you can do to nourish yourself so that you can party without the pain? It's over to you. You can unmute yourself or type it in the chat, whichever. Anyone? Actually, I tell you what, to give you a bit of thinking time, Amanda, do you want to, or who's got the questions? Amanda, is it you that's got the questions, or is it Nikki?
Nikki's got
The questions.
Do you want to ask one of the questions?
Shall I make a start and read some out? So the first question that we had was, how do I stop myself diving into the Quality Street tin and not coming out until it's done? That was the first question we had.
That is such a good question. I love that. Amanda, should I answer that?
Yeah, you go ahead. Answer that one, yeah.
So we would recommend that rather than having the full box of Quality Street in front of you, or even actually, to be fair, in the room with you, we would suggest that you get yourself a handful or two and you put them in a bowl and you take them off, because there's lots of research that shows if you will just keep eating essentially until that thing is gone. There's something in your brain just goes, oh, we'll just keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. However, if you have a smaller bowl, you can still eat until they're all done, but you've eaten far fewer of them than you would if it's an entire the entire box. So separating some off and then putting them on a plate, putting them in a bowl, putting the original box away out of sight, that's a tip that we use. We had a client who had a thing for crisps and would eat lots and lots of packets of crisps a day, and we suggested that strategy of just putting the packet in a bowl rather than eating out of the packet, and she went from about 10 packets a day to 1 immediately. It really played it sorted out her brain and the way she thought about it, so we would recommend that one. There's a question.
Okay.
There's a question
Emma
in the
has
chat.
a question. Yeah.
Emma,
can I ask about fiber, please? My consultant has told me to add more fiber to my diet. Any tips on the best way for different meals? I'm not much of a snacker. Thank you. So tips on the best way to add fiber to your diet.
I think the 30 plant challenge is kind of like shouting out. That would be a really good one to get more fiber in, because it's a good way, isn't it, the 30 plant challenge, because we don't realize how little fiber we're actually eating, and it's a great way to tick them off. So, and it's great between families, isn't it? You can have a competition between you can put it up on the fridge and you can tick boxes of how many things you're eating, pick up something, a few different things at the supermarket, but it's nuts, it's seeds, it's oils, and before you know it, you've really kind of ramped up the plants that you're actually ingesting during the week. So lots of diverse fruit and vegetables, and it's a really lovely way of making sure that you're increasing that fiber throughout the week.
Yeah,
oh, sorry, go on, Amanda.
I was just going to say it's just about plants, really. I mean, and it's not just when we think about fiber, we tend to think about oats, we tend to think about fruit and veg, but we don't tend to think so much about beans, lentils, legumes, those kinds of foods that have plenty of fiber, but they also have some protein in them. So those are really great economical foods that you can use. The ones in the cans are great. I made a veggie stew this evening, and I put a tin of cannellini beans and a tin of lentils in there. And with all the carrots, the potatoes, the parsnips, all the lovely root veg that we've got around at the moment. I had a pot full of fiber. Might be some of that fluctuance that we talked about.
The Scottish bagpipes are preparing.
Nice.
Yeah, that was a whole bowl full of fiber. So yeah, not just thinking about sort of fruit and veg as fiber, or just oats as fiber, which we tend to do. And then you've got things like wholemeal pastas, wholemeal bread, all contains fiber. Shocking statistic is that about 96% of the UK population are not eating 30 grams of fiber. And 30 grams of fiber is the recommended amount that you should be eating each day. And when you actually look at what 30 grams is, it's something like, and you two can join in with this, it's like an apple, a pear, a potato, portion of broccoli, and 40 grams of oats or something like that. That is your 30 grams of fiber. It's a ridiculously small amount if you think about, over the course of a day. And yet 96% of adults are not eating that much. Emma's saying chaos in a gluten-free veggie household now.
We have just to answer that question, Emma, we have a big bowl in the fridge of fruit salad, and there's we'll do it less now. It's not the summer, but we have probably about 8 or 9 different fruits in there, and we put mint in there as well just to lift it a little bit. And you can have a bit for breakfast, have some for after a meal, and it's a nice bit of sweet. And people worry about eating fruit, because it's sweet. Berries are brilliant because they're low sugar, but they're also really high fiber, as is fruit. Generally, it's a really easy way to eat, to get your fiber in. But something like that in the fridge that you don't have to necessarily be a snacker for, but if you fancy something sweet that's not Christmas sweets type sweet, or like mince pie heavy sweet, it's a really nice light way of it's really good for hydration as well. So something like that you can just make a big bowl of and people can just help themselves to is a good way of getting quite a lot of fiber and quite a diverse range of plants in.
Emma says that's a
Emma's
great
just said,
idea
yeah.
and very accessible.
Yeah, I think that
Good,
is a great
thank
idea.
Absolutely.
Fiona says
Okay.
she's not got any questions, but she found it really useful. Oh, glad you've enjoyed it, Fiona. Did we have any other questions in, Nikki?
Yeah. The second one was, what should I eat? What should I do, sorry, if I've already overindulged? What's your best advice for recovering more quickly?
Well,
We've all
kind
been there.
Yes, we have. Hydration is key, isn't it?
Yeah.
If I refer to my lovely Christmas meal with my friend on Saturday, we did drink a drink or two, but we actually drank about 3 carafes of water as we were going along. And that made a huge difference to how we both felt in the morning. But as Amanda said earlier, getting up and eating a balanced breakfast, getting some protein in, getting some healthy fats and some healthy fiber in there, that just signals to your body, it's okay, I'm going to look after you. I'm going to nourish you, it's fine. And as Amanda said, get out, get some sunshine, move, even though sometimes it feels like I just want to veg under a blanket on the sofa.
I was thinking die as well.
Yeah, I was as well, but I thought I didn't think I'd be that terrible. But actually just nourishing your body. Alcohol is really punishing and it's great fun, and we've all been there, but it does punish your body a little bit. So it's saying to your body, right, I'm going to nourish you, I'm going to hydrate you, I'm going to give you the right levels of nutrients that you need, and we're going to move and it will be okay. You're not going to die.
Have that early night
think
that Amanda was talking about with the sleep. Imperative.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
To catch up on that sleep.
It's all about that balance that we've talked about the whole way through as well. I mean, you've had one really overindulgent night, for example, or been out for lunch and it's been really, Nicola just said, but she's been out for lunch and had a really sort of indulgent lunch. But then it's all about balance. Get up the next day, do your best, drink lots of water, have a healthy, balanced breakfast, go for a walk, and just be balanced about it. It was done, you enjoyed it, you had a great time. Enjoy the moment. And then the next day it's all about balance again. Not about just because you had and I think the worst thing that people could do is say, I had an indulgent day yesterday, I'm not going to eat today. And I think that's the absolute worst thing that you can do. So try and be as regular with your eating the day after as you possibly can be. Eat your breakfast, eat your lunch, eat your dinner, get your blood sugar back to balance. And I think that's the best thing you can do for yourself. Skipping meals is never going to work. It's never going to be the way to go. And this is what I think Nicola said earlier when we were talking about balance. And not avoiding meals if you know you're going to go out in the evening. Don't say, "Oh, I'm going to avoid my lunch. I'm not going to eat my lunch because I'm going out tonight." The worst thing that you can do is to skip your meals. So yeah, if you've overindulged the night before, get back into your routine as quickly as possible.
And don't have hair of the dog. It's a myth. It's not going to help one iota.
Brill. Before we
Was there any more questions?
We do have one more before we go on.
Okay.
So how do I say no to food or drinks without feeling rude or like I'm missing out?
Who's answering that one?
I can answer that one. So I think about eating before you go out, but when you're actually at that buffet table, you find that if people see you not eating or drinking, it's almost instinctive that you get targeted, like you've got a beacon on your head saying feed me and give me drink. So if you get your plate and pop those things onto your plate, like we said earlier, and choose wisely, try and choose like more salads and things than the sausage rolls, but have your plate full and hold it. I know. And hold it so that and don't eat it straight away, so that when people come circulating, they can see that you've got some food on your plate, and they're not going to say, have some food, you must eat. So you've already got the food on your plate, so that people will kind of swerve you and not pressure you to go and keep eating and eating and eating if you've got an empty plate. So I think that's one thing, so that you're setting your own pace and choosing things, and even standing with a drink, so that you're not constantly being filled up. So you're chatting away, but you've got a plate, you've got your drink, and people will kind of bypass the drinks and the food. So yeah, that's what I would say. How about you two?
Yeah.
Yes,
That's my strategy anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just not have some. You don't have to miss out.
Yeah.
That idea of restricting yourself, well, I'm only going to have a little bit of this. Your brain automatically goes, no, we're going to have loads of it. So just have some and enjoy it and savor it and taste it. Eat mindfully, as we said earlier, so that you don't feel like you're missing out. Your brain is satisfied with what you've eaten or drunk.
I think there is a great deal of pressure that's put on people to eat a lot and drink a lot, because it's almost like somebody saying, well, I'm doing that, so I need you to do that sort of kind of with me. And it is quite a difficult sort of situation to find yourself in. But yeah, keeping your glass topped up, even if it's just with some fizzy water with a piece of lemon in it, so it looks like you've got a G&T in your glass, is a really good way. And just sort of sip it, keep it topped up. But yeah, I agree, there's a lot of pressure for people to sort of, the people put on you to keep up with them. They're overindulging, so you've got to come and do that with me. So yeah, that was a good question, actually, because that's the situation that a lot of people find themselves in.
Yeah. So we've given you lots of tips of things that you can implement, simple, straightforward strategies that you can implement in the coming few weeks. It would be interesting to know which of those strategies, what the topics we've talked about, which of those resonates with you? Which do you think, oh, actually, I could do that and that would be okay? Which of those would help you party without the pain? If you want to unmute yourself or come on the chat, that would be fine. In terms of what I'm going to do, I think plan my sleep, actually. Really plan my sleep. So that, because I'm just hopeless without it. So that's my partying without the pain takeaway.
Fiona said that she's going to keep her plates and glasses topped up. Yeah, it's a good strategy. A really good strategy. Yeah. That's a good plan. Oh, I've got another one here. Oh, my chat's doing weird things.
Jill
Sorry.
says choosing a plate of food and moving away from the buffet. That's a good plan, Jill.
Yeah. Emma says she's going to have lots of fibre and not sit next to the buffet. That's also a really, really good plan. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Brilliant.
I'm going to carry on putting my PJs on my bed before I go out.
I just ask you, it's time for questions. Do you actually, this may say more about my life than yours, Amanda, but do you actually iron your pajamas?
Yes.
Okay.
Do I? It's a winner.
Absolutely. Well, yeah.
Maybe my party without the pain tip should be I'll iron my pajamas.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely, completely, 100%. I wouldn't dream of putting on unironed, but there's no.
Okay. Me neither. Do you know what my tip is?
Emma says she's quite shocked about ironing the pajamas as well. I'm glad it wasn't just me, Emma.
That's funny.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
So I
So,
will also add that I don't have Christmas pajamas. I do draw the line at Christmas pajamas. I don't have Christmas pajamas. But there you go.
Brill.
Yeah. Okay, let's cut the PJ talk now.
Yeah, let's move on. Let's move on. So let's move on to after Christmas, actually, to January. To what you do, not for New Year's resolutions by any stretch of the imagination, but just to nourish yourself after you've had a party season. Some of you may have seen or even taken part in our previous resets. We have coming up on January the 19th, our winter reset 7, which is all about resetting your energy, resetting a sense of balance. Over the course of 7 days, you will, and I can use the word will because we know this, you will have more energy, you will sleep better, your mood will be leveled out a little bit, and lots of people who participate lose weight. We had one lady who lost half a stone, I think, was it in that week? But
Fiona did the last reset, so she can tell us. Yeah, Fiona did the last one, so
excellent. Oh yes, of course, because she was eating meatballs. I'm glad I
eating
hope you've enjoyed them.
Yeah.
So it's about putting in the nourishment back. And Emma, you were asking about getting the fibre in. Fibre is one of the pillars of this 7-day reset. So you will get from us a 7-day menu. You can see that up on the screen. The meals are delicious and family friendly. We had feedback from teenagers saying that teenagers would eat it. Fussy husbands will eat them. The recipes, they are delicious. They are easy to make. And whilst the shopping list looks pretty onerous, the ingredients are not complicated. They're not unusual ingredients. They're just things that you can access very easily at the supermarket. And it comes with all the recipes you need, and they are very clear and step by step. I had a client last night who had done the reset, and she was talking about how easy the recipes are to follow because they're really step by step. And Fiona's just said the reset is a gorgeous way of refreshing my menu with seasonal food too. Fantastic. So not only do you get all of that, but the big plus is that you get the 3 of us for those 7 days. We run a private WhatsApp group, and it's your opportunity to ask any questions that you have about nutrition, about lifestyle, about feeling better, really, and what you can do to support your health in the long term. This isn't just like a 7-day diet. It's recipes that you can eat again and again and again and again. We don't do diets. We don't do that idea of restriction. We're doing adding foods in, and adding foods in that you might not necessarily eat, or suggesting recipes where you're taking foods that you might eat but suggesting you eat them in a different kind of way. And you can see on the screen that everybody that's done the reset with us absolutely loved it. Lots of 5 stars there, which was fantastic. As I say, weight loss, great energy, great enthusiasm, just a real motivation to eat better beyond the 7 days. So as a special our special Christmas gift to you, we have 2 offers going on with our winter reset that starts in January the 19th. So we have an early bird price for that. It will be £59, but the early bird is £49. But what we're doing this time that we haven't done before is a winter reset 7, bring a friend. So if you know you have somebody who would really benefit from eating well, or if you want somebody to do it alongside of and having that extra community, we are offering 2 places for £75. Emma, thank you for coming. You'll get a copy of the video, the recording, so you'll anything you've missed, you'll be able to catch up on. It's been lovely to see you.
I was just typing Emma a quick message, but thanks for coming, Emma. It's lovely to see you, and we'll speak soon.
So the Winter Reset 7, bring a friend, is the two of you will be able to buy the reset for £75. Now, my maths is not that great, but that's about, if the two of you were getting it at full price, that'd be £118. For two of you to get it for 75 quid is a veritable bargain, given what you get, because you get the recipes, all the resources that come with it are yours to keep. It's not just like a 1 week and done thing. You get everything, and you can cook those recipes, learn about the nutrients in there over and over and over again. So, Amanda, could you put the links in the chat, as well as the QR codes that are on the screen?
Yeah, I will try.
Okay.
Is Jill still here, or did Jill have to leave?
Emma left.
Oh, Emma left. Yeah,
Jill's
Emma
still
left.
with us.
Jill's still with us. Fantastic. I will see if I can find them. I did actually try and find them earlier, and I know I can't find them.
Okay. Well, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, because we've got everybody's contact details, so we can send the links out. But we would highly recommend it, as you saw on the screen previously. Everybody who has done the reset with us has absolutely loved it and got a huge amount out of it. Our goal, our ambition for you is that it resets your energy, but what we found is the reset does for your body what your body needs at that particular point. So we don't need to recommend it highly, because everybody who does it recommends it for us.
And we do it too. We do it with you. So we do each reset. So we're not just sort of, this is not something that it's not do as we say, it's do as we are actually doing. So we're actually doing the reset with you, which I think makes a difference as well, because we sort of experience the same things that you will experience. Because we all need a reset. Just because we're nutritionists, it doesn't mean to say that we're, we eat brilliantly all of the time. We definitely don't. So yeah, we all need a bit of a reset. So we do the reset with you, which makes it even more beneficial.
Yeah. So those the bring a friend offer is just on until Saturday. So have a word with your mates tomorrow. Tell them a little bit about it. If you've got any questions, drop us an email and we'll answer them quickly, and then you don't miss out on the offer. But I think that is us for this evening.
I'm trying to move the slides and it's not working again for some reason.
Okay.
But I think the next slide just said oh, hang on a minute. Oh, there's just so much. There's too much technology going on here.
Yeah, it was the Merry Christmas one, the last one.
Is it the Merry Christmas slide? And I can't. It's just not letting me move. It's a shame, because I like that slide.
Yeah, with the baubles on. Yeah.
Yeah, it had baubles on it, and I can't. And it won't.
Do you want me to hold it up instead?
No, we could sing happy birthday. We could hang happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
We could sing sing Merry Christmas instead.
Really?
No,
we couldn't. No, we couldn't.
You're right.
And I'm hoping that Fiona and Jill would be saying, no, don't, even though they're on mute. I'm hoping
I think
that's
you should
what they're
do
saying.
it. I think you should do it.
we should. No, we'll stop. No, we do. Thank you so much for coming. We hope you've enjoyed it and got a lot out of it. And just have a wonderful Christmas. Whatever you get up to, have a wonderful time.
And you, thank you, ladies. Thank you very much.
Happy Christmas to you both.
Thanks for coming. Merry Christmas.
Okay,
bye now.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Fiona.
Bye.